there, I'm Jules. Nice to see you. The word of the day today is concern. You know, like if your friend is doing something weird and you're like, hey man, kind of concerned about you. Concern. If you'd like to know why concern is the word of the day, watch my next video and then read the description to find out. Alright babes, you know what time it is. It's time for destiny to fail us for a sixth time. A sixth time. Where I said we're gonna go till the end, we're gonna go till the end. I don't care what we have to do to make it there. I don't care who we have to kill in order to get there. We're getting there. Okay? Okay. Let's go. I didn't say anything about killing anyone. Let's go. The morning was quiet. Dad was working on some photos in his study, while Mom cleaned the kitchen. I quickly went to grab a bowl of cereal from the kitchen and returned to my room. Started eating while I pondered what I should do. Oh my god, I don't know. Studying. Okay. Anything exciting gonna happen today? I was sitting in my room when I heard the phone ring downstairs.
Hello? Yes, I'm sorry to hear that. No, it's fine. I'll be there soon.
I opened the door to my room to see if I could hear what that was about. Who was that?
It was work. They want me to come in tonight. Someone called in sick.
Well, at least we'll get some extra hours in.
Yeah, I can't complain too much about that.
There was silence for a moment.
Do you think you'll be fine for dinner tonight?
We'll be okay. I'll just heat us up some leftovers.
Alright, I'm gonna go get ready for work then.
Love you, honey.
I love you too.
Gross, how can you love a goblin? There was a moment of silence before I could hear Mom walking up the stairs. I quickly and quietly shut my door. After a few minutes, Mom had finished getting ready for work. Knock, knock. Yeah? Mom opened the door and walked in. Nasty.
I'm picking up an extra shift today. I'll be leaving in a moment, but I wanted to see what you were up to.
Not much, just studying.
Alright, that's good. Dad's gonna be here all night, so if you have any questions, you know he's good with this stuff.
Mom pointed at my textbooks.
Anyway, I'll be home probably after you've gone to bed. I love you, sweetie.
I love you too. Mom walked over to me and gave me a hug and a kiss on the cheek. The cheek that you slapped? And bruised? Mom left my room. After a little bit, I could hear her pulling out of the garage and driving off. Good riddance, goblin woman. Get out of here. Shortcake? What's up? Dad walked into my room. So I was thinking, since Mom's at work tonight, there's nothing really stopping me from driving you to the basketball game myself. Wait, what? You'd do that? Of course. Why don't you get ready? We'll head out when you're done. Thank you so much. I jumped up from my bed to give Dad a hug. Your dad is actually looking out for you. Your mom is just crazy-ass crazy. He left the room while I got my things ready. After a few minutes, I met him downstairs. Idril looks good with her hair down. What do you mean, where should I go? There's only one place to go. Okay. I waved Dad goodbye as I got out of his car and walked up the steps to the school. The Moirai Fates were going against the Asagao Strikers tonight. I looked around to see if I could find Vincent in the crowds that were forming. When I didn't see him, I had a sudden flash of nervousness. Maybe he decided he didn't want to come after all. My phone started ringing. The caller ID read Vincent. Oh, I got text messages. Nalum is best show.
Oh my god, this is the most bestest, amazingest ep of Nalum. It beats every other show's best ep by a million. You have to see it.
I can't respond. Okay. I don't care, Alaska. Get out of here. Hello? Hey, Idril? Hey, where are you? I decided to wait for you inside the school. I'm waiting outside the computer lab. Oh, okay. I'll meet you with you in a little bit. I mentally reprimanded myself for freaking out over nothing. Okay, see ya. Bye. I closed my phone and stuffed it back into my pocket. I made my way through the crowd and into the school. I walked to the computer lab to meet with Vincent. In the dark computer lab. When I got there, Vincent was sitting at a computer. Hey. Hey, what's up? Not much. I just got here a bit too early, so I came here to fit in a quick game of Horde of Heroes. He shut down his computer and got up from his seat. Ready to go? Yeah, let's go. What's going on? Okay, we're walking there. I like how they put their jackets on to go outside and then took them off. Vincent and I left through the back exit of the school and lined up in front of the gym. I handed him his ticket and we walked in together. Vincent said he'd find a spot for us and started moving through the crowd with ease. I always wondered how he did that. Lily and One Hit Wonder Boy had a table at one end of the bleachers. They were selling Valentine's dance tickets. Well, at that moment, it looked like they were relaxing and talking with each other. I guess that most of the people who wanted Valentine's tickets already got them during school lunch.
No way, I'm telling you, Asagao Strikers are a tough team to beat.
Nah, they're easy mode. I'm betting. Lily picked me out of the crowd walking in, and I was within earshot, even with the bleachers full of conversation.
Idril, hey, get over here.
She yelled way louder than necessary, and I smiled as I walked over.
I'm bored. One Hit Wonder Boy is terrible at making conversation.
Hey. He looked sour at Lily's statement.
All he wants to do is talk about games. Like he won't shut up about the Fates winning the season, even though we've only won a single game out of 5, right?
Look, you make it sound like I'm a sports fanatic. I'm just saying that Asagao has only won 3 out of 5 because they fought easy teams. I'd rather talk about arcade games, but I just thought you would be the wrong crowd for that conversation. I was pretty sure Lily didn't care about the basketball games either. She once told me that she only ever went to sports events to yell as loud as she wanted without anyone getting upset at her.
So Vincent's at a sporting event?
She raised an eyebrow at me.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, right?
My face went red.
Oh, you like Vincent.
Lily looked surprised.
How did you not already know?
I don't know. I guess I just don't pay that much attention to school drama.
Says the student council president?
One Hit Wonder Boy made a face like he tasted something sour.
Well, I'm glad you didn't know.
It seems like everybody else in school does. They never stop talking about it.
Still, you didn't see the fight at lunch?
No. I heard that James stabbed Vincent, but I wasn't in the room at the time. Plus, they said he got stabbed with a fork. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Folks aren't even shocked. A metal fork is?
You weren't there. It looked really painful.
Lily looked over at me, and I must have looked annoyed by the conversation, because she made an apologetic face.
So, Asagao Strikers, you think they're gonna lose?
I hope so. We really need a win.
I think they're gonna start in a moment.
Lily nodded her head at me, and I realized I was standing in the play area. Some of the players were looking at me curiously. Embarrassed, I waved goodbye to Lily and took my seat in the bleachers. The game started. I watched the players as they moved the ball across the court. They kept passing it to each other and made shots on the hoop. There was lots of excitement and yelling from the people around me. I was starting to get a migraine, but it was fun to be part of the crowd. Getting a migraine isn't fun. Hello? Brian was making lots of shots where he jumped to the hoop. He seemed to be making a lot of points, but it was easy to tell that his teammates were getting frustrated with him. After a while, Brian started arguing with Atali's dad, Mr. Evans. People were saying he was the ref. Everyone kept saying how blind Mr. Evans was. Brian had made what sounded like a good play when everyone cheered for him, until Mr. Evans blew a whistle. Mr. Evans said Brian was charging. Brian got up in Mr. Evans' face and started yelling. Mr. Evans told him to take the rest of the quarter out. There was a lot of booing from the crowd as Brian stormed out of the gym. Wow, wonder what's going on with him. Yeah, that's weird. Even though I really had no clue what exactly was happening on the court, I still really enjoyed watching the rest of the game with Vincent. I'm pretty sure Vincent noticed I was unsure of what was happening, because he started explaining what was going on in the game. Eventually, Brian sulked back into the gym and took his place back on the court. Unfortunately, he continued to play poorly. The coach ended up calling him back and benching him for the rest of the game. Good, he's a jerk. When the game was over, the home crowd was quiet. There was a feeling of disappointment in the air. Our team lost. It was as if everybody couldn't believe it, which was odd because most of the crowd was talking about the loss as if they figured we would lose. Some of the overzealous fans were jeering at Brian, who was sulking on the bench still. Geez, some people take this game way too seriously. What should I say? People are gonna be jerks about it. No. Maybe it's karma. Ha! Vincent nodded and held my coat up for me to put on. That's a good point. You know, I actually had a lot of fun tonight. The two of us left the gym together and started walking to the front of the school. Yeah, I did too. I'm happy you agreed to come with me. I don't really even like basketball. I caught that when you asked me, was that good? And then cheered when I nodded. Oh, right. Vincent laughed. Hey, I wasn't planning on going, but if you aren't going with somebody else. I just punched myself. Would you want to go to the dance together? As friends? As friends? Yeah. Yes, I'll go with Vincent to the dance! Yes, I'd be happy to! Yay! Vincent's face lit up for a split second before returning back to normal. That's great. I'll pick you up at your place Valentine's night.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah!
Just then, Dad pulled up to the curb we were standing at. I took a moment to compose myself. Vincent just asked me to the dance! Well, he asked me as a friend, and it was still hard to think about him as just a friend, but it was better than going alone, right?
You kids have fun tonight?
I tried to shake my head of thoughts of the dance. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's good to hear.
Dad turned to Vincent.
Thanks for coming tonight. No problem. It was my pleasure.
Vincent patted me on the shoulder.
All right, I gotta head home. I'll see you later. Wait, it's freezing out there. We could give you a ride.
Vincent looked at me. It seemed like he was mentally asking me if I was okay with that. I nodded.
Sure, that sounds fine. Thanks.
I got in the front seat as Vincent sat down in the back. Dad pulled away from the curb and started driving down the road.
So, how have you been, Vincent? All right, I guess. That's good. Look, it's been a couple of weeks since, the whole mess happened.
I looked over at Dad in shock. Why is he bringing this up now? Dad looked uncomfortable just mentioning it. I saw Vincent tense up, frustration coloring his eyes at the memory of it.
I know you're a good kid. I trust you. I just wanted to let you know that.
Vincent's frustration deflated, and I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding.
Thank you.
I glanced back at Vincent, who looked like he wasn't sure what to say. He leaned in next to the head of my seat to whisper to me.
Should we tell him about the dance?
Yeah, I think I should. I think my dad's been on my side. Dad trusts Vincent. Should we tell Dad about the dance? Yeah. Okay, I hope this isn't a mistake. I nodded to Vincent, who took a deep breath and sat back up in his seat.
Actually, I asked Idril to the Valentine's dance next week.
He asked me to go as a friend.
Yes, as friends.
Dad sat silently in his seat without taking his gaze from the road. Dad?
Yes! That's fine with me. Like I said, Vincent, you're a good kid.
Phew.
I'm just unsure how Idril's mom is going to react, but don't worry about that. I'll handle it. Thank you. No, thank you for telling me. It gives me a head start.
Dad glanced up in his rearview mirror and grinned at Vincent.
Yay!
We drove down the familiar streets that led to Vincent's house. When we got there, Dad pulled into the driveway and put it in park.
Well, here we are. Thanks for the ride. No problem. I wouldn't want you freezing out there. It'd make taking Idril to the dance rather difficult.
Everyone laughed for a moment as Vincent opened the door and stepped out.
See you later, Idril. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks for coming with me tonight.
I had fun.
Me too. Vincent shut the door and walked up to the front door. Once he was inside, Dad backed out the driveway.
Just friends?
What?
He asked you to go as friends?
Yeah? What's wrong with that?
Shortcake, that kid likes you.
I looked away to hide my blushing. Can we change the subject?
Mom will be getting home soon.
Does she know I went to the game?
It'll be our little secret.
Dad turned on the radio and we listened as he drove us home. My dad's on my side. My mom is a goblin. It was getting late. I decided to head to bed. Yay, I love this. Finally, things are going good for her. Jeez. After I finished eating breakfast, I laid on the bed. Mom was doing laundry. The dryer was rumbling. Knock, knock. Come in. Ew. Mom opened the door. Hey, sweetie. I was wondering if you wanted to come with me to run some errands today. I didn't really feel like running around town, but I wasn't doing much at home. Plus, Mom looked like she really wanted me to come along. Sure. I would have said no. I got ready quickly and hopped into the car with Mom. She's a skanko. Our first stop was a shoe store. Mom said that her boss would pay for some new work shoes for her. I followed Mom through the store while she found some shoes that fit. Idril, what do you think about these? Mom held up a pair of black flats. Definitely a style that I like to wear. They were pretty cute shoes. I like them. They're pretty cute. Great, let's get them. Mom took the 2 pairs of shoes up to the counter. Oh no. Wait, she's part of the Mean Girls group? We left the shoe store and started walking to the car. I looked over to Melt's, a local gourmet sandwich place, and saw Erin hanging out with some girls from school. I realized that they were the same girls from school, the ones Atali yelled at during lunch. I was about to wave at her when I noticed one of them shove her. I could hear one of them saying something to Erin. Back there, it makes it seem like you were dumpster diving for scraps. This place is gross. Animals eat from the trash. That's probably why she's here. It's like she's attracted to gross. I could hear their laughter from across the parking lot, and I realized that I was already moving toward them. One of them pulled on Erin's coat sleeve. Look at her clothes. She's definitely been sleeping in a cardboard box. I could feel sharp anger rising, and I was just getting close enough to say something when Mom walked past me. If I thought I was angry, she looked past rage already. She approached the group of them. What makes you think that you have the right to treat somebody like that? You hit your daughter. Just saying. The girls looked stunned by the sudden intrusion, but Mom didn't stop there. Do you not even realize what you're doing? What you think is funny, ganging up on somebody like this? You think it's entertaining to poke fun at somebody? You must not realize how damaging that can be. Last year alone, we had 2 kids your age in Moirai that committed suicide. Is that funny to you? They were having trouble finding what to say. Well, finally one of them snapped out of it. We were just kidding around. Like, we weren't serious. Well, I am. You think you can act despicable and people will just pretend you're amazing? Trust me, when you grow up, no one will give you the time of day for that kind of attitude. Mom looked to Erin, who was still standing in between the girls. What's your name, hon? My name is Erin. Well, Erin, this is my daughter, Idril. We were just about to have some gourmet sandwiches for lunch if you wanted to join us. It was a lie. Mom was usually very meticulous about when she ate lunch. It was still a couple hours before noon, which is when she usually ate, but I knew she was just trying to get Erin away from them. Erin looked uncomfortable about Mom's offer. She looked over at the other girls apprehensively and spoke up weakly. They're so expensive. I'm not hungry enough for a whole sandwich anyway. If you don't have the other half of my sandwich, I'll just have to throw it away. This was also a lie. Mom never threw out food unless she absolutely had to. If we did eat here and she didn't finish a sandwich, she would take home for leftovers. Well, I guess. She slowly walked away from the other girls. Mom opened the door for Erin and I. I sure hope I don't have to ruin my lunch with a phone call to anyone's parents. Mom looked directly at the girls as she spoke. They got the message, and as we lined up to get some sandwiches, I could see the girls hurry toward their car and drive off. I leaned over and whispered to Mom. You know their parents? Nope. She winked at me with a smile. After the girls left, Mom quietly spoke up to Erin. Are you all right? They didn't hurt you at all, did they? Erin shook her head. She still seemed very nervous. I couldn't blame her. Those girls didn't seem like the type to just let something go. Everyone was probably thinking about what they would do to get revenge and wondering if she made the right decision coming with us. Mom made the order, and we sat down in a booth near the window. Erin smiled up at me as if to say hi without actually saying anything. Eventually, we got our order, and Mom cut her sandwich in half, giving one half to Erin. After a few moments of eating, Mom spoke up again. Is there anything I can do for you, Erin? Do you need a ride home? Erin shook her head again. She smiled, but it looked fake. Thank you. I should be just fine. Just thank you. This sandwich is good. It is. I wish I had more lettuce, though. Or no lettuce, and some bacon. Mom laughed at that, and Erin smiled for real this time. We finished eating, and Mom convinced Erin to take the other half of my sandwich that I didn't eat. We walked out of Melt's, and Mom looked around to make sure the other girls didn't come back. When she didn't see them again, she looked over to Erin. Are you sure you don't want to ride home? I'm sure. Thank you. Mom still looked dissatisfied. Do you have somebody else who can come pick you up? Yeah, I can find somebody. I was pretty sure Erin was lying, and by the look on Mom's face, she was probably thinking the same. Okay, as long as you're sure. I'm sure. Well, it was nice to meet you, Erin. Right, Idril? I still hadn't told Mom that it wasn't the first time I met Erin. Yeah. See you at school, Erin. See ya. You gonna tell your mom that you know her? Or what? We walked to the car and got in. She's a senior? Yeah, we met the other day. A lot of the kids at school don't like her, I guess. She's really nice, though. Mom looked deep in thought as she turned on the car and told me to buckle up. Those girls probably won't leave her alone. I'll have to have a talk with the principal, or maybe the vice principal. He always seems more aware of things. If you see those kids picking on her at school again, you should tell a teacher. I nodded and told her that I would. We pulled out of the parking lot, and I saw Erin still standing in front of Melt's with her coat pulled tight around her. We're not going to help the homeless girl? Mom said she needed to swing by the bank next. It was just a short drive away, and we soon pulled into the bank parking lot. Mom turned to me. Did you want to come in or stay in the car? I'll go in. Sure, I'll come along. Whatever I can do to get on my mom's good side. Mom smiled, and we both got out of the car and went inside. You know, when I was your age, I was such a rebellious teenager. Mama and I didn't get along that well. The two of us fought constantly, and I was tired of it all. I ended up running away. I didn't really have any friends to keep me in town anyway. Miss? The bank teller was ready for us to walk up to the counter. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what I meant to say is, I'll tell you the rest later.
I followed Mom up to the counter and the two of them talked. I zoned out for a moment. Before I realized it, I'd followed Mom back out to the car.
So, how about we go to the grocery store and pick up dinner?
Sure, that sounds fine. I was feeling kind of exhausted from running around town. It sounded like we were almost done, though. Vintage. Alright, from Vintage. Mom grabbed a shopping cart, and as we entered Vintage Market, she went through a few of the aisles first, grabbing things off her checklist before she turned to me.
So, what do you want for dinner?
Battered chicken and mashed potatoes, French toast and bacon, chicken casserole and Alfredo pasta, burgers and homemade fries, cheesy rice with ground beef. How about chicken and mashed potatoes? Can you make those battered chicken strips with mashed potatoes on the side?
Oh yeah, it's been a while since we had some battered chicken, hasn't it? Let's do that tonight. Good idea.
Mom went to the breakfast aisle and grabbed a package of pancake mix. She showed me the brand she thought was the best to use for the batter. We left the aisles and walked to the fruits and veggies. Mom grabbed a bag of golden potatoes. She smiled and told me she liked them better than the instant kind. Finally, we grabbed the frozen items from her checklist, as well as the chicken strips she needed for tonight. We took the shopping cart up to the register. We had the same cashiers we had the last time we came here. Mom started stacking items from our cart onto the conveyor belt, while I stood back and waited. I didn't want to get in her way. I looked around the store. I liked this place. It wasn't too crowded or too loud. Miss Arfinel, it's good to see you again. I looked to my mom, who glanced back at me. We both noticed the principal from my high school walk up to us. Mr. Davis reached out and gave me a big hug. It was awkward and uncomfortable. I love seeing my students outside of school. Yeah. I glanced back at Mom and the cashier. They were both rushing through the rest of the groceries. Oh, and is this Miss Bennett? How's life since graduation? It's, fine. Just going to college, working here. What kind of classes are you taking? I don't know. Just the normal ones, I guess. You know, math, literature, all that good stuff. Mr. Davis didn't acknowledge my mom as he walked over to the cashier. The cashier gave him a hesitant smile and continued to ring us up. I helped Mom put the groceries into the cart as she finished paying. Well, it was good to see you, Mr. Davis. Oh yes, you ladies have a good night.
Good night.
Why didn't he say anything to your mom? Mom seemed hesitant to leave the cashier alone with Mr. Davis. However, we walked out to our car and loaded the groceries into the back seat.
I don't like your principal. He's kind of creepy.
Well, so are you. Yeah. Mom and I sat in the car until we saw Mr. Davis leave Vintage Market.
I didn't want to leave the poor girl alone with him.
I got a text. Mr. Davis? Oh, I thought Mr. Davis texted you. Just ran into Mr. Davis at the Vintage. Ugh, that guy's so gross.
He's not gross. He's just really friendly all the time. I don't know. He's pretty weird. He seems to always find an excuse to touch me, whether it's a hug or just touching my arms or shoulders.
Alaska's right. I hate to say it.
He makes me feel uncomfortable. Don't be so quick to judge. We've known him for a while now, and he is still weird. I've heard the other teachers talk about it as well. Well, I think they're being too hard on him.
Maybe, but I don't know. We could see the cashier through the window. She was back to ringing up the other customers.
I guess things are okay now. Let's get home.
I hope my mom likes me enough to let me go to the damn dance. When we got home, I got changed and waited in the living room until dinner was ready. Dad was in his study in the other room working on some photos he recently took for the newspaper, and Mom was cooking to music in the kitchen. I turned on the television to kill some time. The news was on, and they were making a report about the missing girl from a few weeks ago. Moirai police are still searching for a missing teenage girl, Desiree McLaughlin, age 19, who was last seen on January 25th. Police described Desiree as a Caucasian female, 5'9", 115 pounds, with blonde hair and brown eyes. She was wearing a blue jacket with a hood, blue jeans, and black Converse. Desiree was reported missing by her mother. According to her father, she is known to frequent the downtown section of Moirai, police said. It's just over 3 weeks that she's been missing, Moirai Police Captain Lloyd Carter said. With the cold weather out there, we are concerned for her welfare. The original announcement of her disappearance generated a few leads that police checked with no success, Smith said. Anyone with knowledge of her whereabouts is asked to contact the Moirai Police Captain at 208-555-8536. Now we're going to the weather with George Storm. The camera switched to a man standing in front of the weather map. After a few seconds, Mom came into the living room.
Oh shoot, was that the report on the missing girl?
Yeah, what about it?
I wanted to see if they found out anything new. Did they?
Not really. They had a few leads with no success.
Oh, that's a shame.
Mom looked really upset about the news from Desiree. From the news about Desiree.
Dinner will be ready in a few. Why don't you go wash your hands?
I was so happy to be eating soon. I just wanted to relax and try not to think about all the drama today. Drama today? You just went out with your mom. Oh, I guess from Aaron. I ate dinner with my parents, went up to my room, used computer, play the game, play Horde of Heroes. All your friends are in a game already. Observation mode. 15 minutes into the game. They got beat. Something. Samson, Greg. Samson, Vincent, Greg. Harley, Samson. They lost the game. Okay. It was a lot of fun to watch them play. You didn't even play. It's getting late. Go to bed. Okay, we're so close to Valentine's Day. We're so close. We can do this. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. No problem. We can do it. I woke up a little earlier than normal. When I went to water my irises, I realized they were starting to look healthy again. My room looked pretty clean, so I decided to leave a little early today and meet up with my friends. They eventually showed up and we walked to class together. We sat in class and waited for the bell to ring. Everyone murmured to each other as the class started. Mrs. Reed asked questions about a verbal pop quiz. Would anyone tell me who Romeo confided in when he talked about how he loved Rosalind? There was quiet whispering around the room, but no one raised their hands. Mrs. Reed looked around the room and sighed. No one? Fine, let's see. Idril, would you tell us, please? Oh no, it's been weeks since we went over this. Who did Romeo confide in when he talked about how he loved Rosalind? Obviously, not Mercutio. I want to say Tybalt, but I'm going to look this up, just to be sure. I want to be correct. Who did Romeo confide in when he talked about Rosalind? Benvolio! I think it was Benvolio? Correct! Thanks, Google. After that, he spends most of the play trying to help Romeo get his mind off of Rosalind. I felt pretty proud that I had gotten the question correct. I was not going to press Benvolio, I was going to press Tybalt. I studied Shakespeare in college. I walked with Natalie and Lily to the lunchroom. When we got to our table, Alaska was already there. Hey, guys. Hey, how'd you get here so fast? I ran. Anyway, I have some good news. I'll be right back. I need to get something to drink. That can wait. I have good news. What's going on, Alaska? You seem even more excited than usual. Yeah, that's because I have a date to the Valentine's dance. Harley asked me when we went to the basketball game together. Yeah, where were you at the basketball game? I never saw you, right? I was around. Natalie still looked caught up on the Harley thing. What about Alexander? He's with someone else. I'll just have to wait till he's available. I thought you were going to make him like you or something. I've matured. Plus, I can see how he might not appreciate me trying to break him and his current girlfriend up. Right. Anyway, I'm glad you have a date for Valentine's Day. Hopefully you and Harley will have fun. Of course we will. Can I go get something to drink yet? Oh yeah, I'm done. Thanks. Alaska continued talking about Harley during lunch. Eventually, Atali and Lily left the table to help take care of stuff they needed to work on, leaving me alone with Alaska. I tried to enjoy my food while Alaska rambled on. Nobody likes you, Alaska. Mr. Burton had written a set of questions on the board from the chapter we were reading. It was a work day. However, instead of working quietly, everyone was too exciting, talking about the dance. Look, Atali, you need to give me some advice on what to wear. Alaska, So I have two dresses I'm trying to decide between. There's this hexagon teal-like dress. Alaska, I want to work on... And there's this blackish dress with a purple bow. Alaska, just go with the purple bow one. We know which one you're going to pick anyway. Fine, fine. What about you, Lils? I don't know. I wasn't even sure if I should dress up or not. I'm mainly going because I'm on the student council, right? I don't know. Seems like fun. Yeah, Lily, come on. You should get dressed up for the dance. Who cares if you're there for the student council? Lily, I have to agree. You'll most likely regret it later if you miss this opportunity. All right. You guys have a point. I might as well. Atali turned to work on the questions while Alaska continued to ramble on about what to wear with her dress. My friends started to quiet down, but I couldn't help but overhear what some of the other students were talking about. Come on, dude. I said we'd go stag together. I know, man. I said I was sorry. I can't go alone. It'll be humiliating. I'm sure you can find someone. You're the power forward on the basketball team. Girls swoon over you. You just don't see it. Dude, I don't know. So, are you gonna go? Yeah, I'm going with Idril.
Really? That's great. I thought you said you two broke up.
I felt my face turn a bit red hearing Vincent and Samson talk about me. Yeah. So, anyways, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Are you going to the dance alone, or are you going to ask her out?
She still isn't talking to me.
Samson must be talking about Lily. She still wasn't over what happened? Do I need to ask everyone to hand in their assignments now? Is that why everyone's talking about the dance? The class protested and everyone settled down. Most of the class stayed quiet for the rest of the period. Talking about the dance! On my way to my locker, I heard some familiar voices. Please?
No, I don't think so.
Aaron and Brian were talking in the hallway around the corner. I peeked out and saw an odd look on Brian's face. He looked desperate. I stayed out of sight and listened in. Look, I'll give you $50. You look like you could use it. I peeked out to catch another quick glimpse of Aaron's face. She did look tempted.
No, I can't. My pride is worth more than that.
Brian slammed his fist on a nearby locker. God damn it, you stuck-up bitch. You should be happy to go with me. No one else will ask you because you smell like shit. You look like you roll in cow dung every night. So why would she go to the dance with you? Aaron looked shocked at Brian's words. Tears started to well up in her eyes. Brian was crossing the line, as he always did, and I was going to go step out and give him a piece of my mind, when Aaron reached out and slapped him across the face. Good!
Don't talk to me like that.
Brian staggered back a bit. He took a moment to process what she'd just done.
You don't deserve to take anyone to the dance. You can take that $50 and shove it up your...
Oh my god. You fucking bitch. I'll kill you. He pulled his arm back to swing. He lunged towards Aaron. His fist flew forward. I was just thinking about how dumb I was, about how I should have stepped in sooner to help when Aaron lifted her knee and hit him right in the crotch. Good. I smiled and stifled a giggle as Brian fell to the ground. Aaron's face was calm rage, and she leaned down to Brian, who was huddled on the ground, grabbing his crotch.
Don't ever threaten me again.
Aaron stormed off down the hallway. I wanted to chase after her to see if she was okay, but I didn't want to be seen by Brian. Instead, I waited as Brian spit a string of curses out for a few minutes. Eventually, he got up to leave. I texted Lily, Tali, and Alaska, then continued to my locker. Aaron versus Brian. Oh my god, Aaron just need Brian in the balls.
Wait, Aaron? As in senior class Aaron?
Oh my god, dirty girl need him in the nards. I need to up her scale on the cool points. Graph.
I wonder if she'll get suspended like James did.
I don't know. I don't think Brian's gonna be telling anyone. Ooh, did she kill him? No. Damn. Wait, did you kill him?
Obviously, she means because he would have had to admit that he got beat up by a girl.
He just looks like he isn't going to tell anyone is all. But what Tali said makes sense. Either way, Brian needed a good knee in the crotch, so good for her. Maybe it will teach him some manners.
I doubt it.
It's okay, I already said that. Where should I go? Okay, here's the thing. I'm already going to the dance with Vincent, so I'm good. I don't want to get in trouble with my mom about going to the computer lab. I'll go to the art club. As much as I'd like to go to the computer lab, but since it was Monday, I headed over to art club to get some progress done. I took the shortcut, taking the back exit and walking across the lawn. When I got to the open doors, Samson was struggling to leave with a cart full of refreshments. I opened the doors wide enough and stood to the side to let him through.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah, it looked like you were having some issues trying to get through here.
Well, I tried to do it all at once, only make one trip. It wasn't working out.
Dad had always made fun of me for trying to do the same thing with groceries. He said that it looked ridiculous.
So, are you heading over to art club?
Yeah, I need to get more work done on that project.
After our conversation the other day,
Samson pulled a piece of paper out of his back pocket.
I went home and tried to draw something.
He held onto the paper, hesitant on handing it over.
I don't know. Never mind. It's dumb.
Should I look at the picture? Why not? You're just being too hard on yourself. Let me see. Samson sheepishly handed it over as he looked away. It was a drawing of a flower, an iris. Wow, it's so pretty.
What, really? I'm glad you like it.
I handed it back to him, but he put his hands in his pockets and shook his head.
You can keep it. I probably shouldn't be carrying that stuff around anyway.
He waved his head towards the gym.
I gotta be manly and stuff. There's no reason to call extra attention from bullies like Brian.
Samson doesn't seem like he's happy. Why are you in athletics? It doesn't seem like you like it at all.
Well, when we were in 8th grade and we were picking departments, I wanted to show off for Lily. It was dumb. I thought that being on a sports team would make me better at it.
Why don't you come to art club with me?
Well, I can't right now.
He looked over at the cart and back at the gym.
What about next time? I'd love to go with you.
Sure, I'll swing by here next time I go to art club. Samson leaned against the cart and accidentally knocked several water bottles onto the ground. He startled himself and swiftly dropped to the ground to pick them up.
I should probably get going. These water bottles aren't going to get to the gym themselves.
You never know, they might roll over there if you knock them over again. He stayed quiet for a moment before bursting out in laughter.
I'm sure Brian would prefer it if these bottles weren't covered in snow.
After he organized the cart again, he looked up at me and gave me a sweet smile.
I hope you like the picture, Idril.
Thank you. I left Samson and went inside, out of the cold. The art room was nearby, and there were several students inside working on their projects. I sat down with a small wave to the teacher and worked on my art project. Is your mom gonna... Okay. When I got home, I noticed Dad sitting on the couch watching the news, and I could smell dinner cooking in the kitchen. I was gonna head up to my room and do something, but Dad got up from the couch. Dad's looking at me questioningly. Yep, I worked on the art project. I didn't want to lie to Dad. He deserved the truth. I stayed at school to work on my art project. He smiled a little. He'd always liked that I was in art club. Being a photographer, he had a soft spot for good art. I still want you to be home. Oh, I still want you to be safe though, Shortcake. You know, making sure you make it home okay.
I always make it home safe.
You just hurt your knee falling on the ice a month ago.
Shh, that didn't happen.
We laughed together. What should I do tonight? Play with Wags. Okay, we're gonna play with Wags. Always the same. Okay, Wags. Good night, Idril. It's getting late. I decided to head to bed. Oh my god. Okay, it's Tuesday. I think I'm gonna call it here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll call it here. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Well. Okay. What am I doing? Thank you so much for playing with me. I had fun and I hope you did too. We're gonna keep going. Hopefully the next part is the last part. I think we can get through to Valentine's Day. If it goes past Valentine's Day, I don't think I can go that far. Mentally, I don't think I can. But we're gonna make it to Valentine's Day for sure. I promise. So I will see you next time.